Heard me speak on how the cockroach is everybody's. Well, matter of fact, I said it was the hood spirit animal. The cockroach is the hood spirit animal. Matter of fact, a lot of us that grew up, you know, and I should say in the hood, but in general, because cockroaches are more so outside bugs anyway. There's the regular roaches that's more so the little, hood roaches, but uh like how they represent, again, archetypically a cockroach represent like, melanated people in the sense of like cockroaches, get this bad rap without a person getting to know the cockroach. It's like automatically it's just like kill a cockroach. I don't understand it, kill it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of those people. I do feel like it's like, a vibe of like across the board, like I shouldn't judge no animal, in the sense of like, well, this animal is all bad, or it just shouldn't be no judgment. And for whatever reason, I just, I say for whatever reason, man, them downloads coming through, but cause what happened was, so this series of events, I'm up in here watching another video, and I'm hearing some flying behind me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And there's like two cockroaches in here flying around and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And I always had a pack with cockroaches. Just all animals in general. I'm like, bro, I don't never want to try to kill y'all. Like, just make sure y'all give me my space. I give y'all yours. And I don't, like, again, if a cockroach, like, if I went in another room and saw a cockroach in there, I wouldn't kill it, you know? So I'm at least that far, in the game. I'm grateful. But like if it's in my bedroom and they like getting real active, it's like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you kind of gotta, and not to mention that I do kind of have like I probably have to finish subconsciously reprogramming myself from the story that my pops told me about how a cockroach bit him and it hurt like a motherfucker. But you know, because at the end of the day, that's what I gotta realize though. One never bit me though, and I done had a few done crawl on me without knowing, and I never got bit. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta go off of the evidence of my own, experiences. But like I can't, so something just was like, go look up cockroaches and deities. Like I was like, what gods or what deities are connected to cockroaches? I was like, I was just interested, and I came across an article, cockroaches and creator gods, and this is, as a matter of fact, and it was connected to somebody dealing with Carl Jung. And Carl Jung is very popular for understanding like shadow work and dealing with dreams and the subconscious and embracing our dark side and stuff like that. So I'm reading this little article, and again with cockroaches. Now I remember in Men in Black, cockroaches, they had the cockroach alien, but again I realized like anything that's trying to be made into a monster in a lot of cases, may not be a monster. Like it may be something we need to embrace, but something trying to get us to be scared of it or, hate it or something of that nature. But, just the facts of it, cockroaches are highly melanated. They're connected to the water, you know what I'm saying? We think about our ancient ancestry, or just, with the Dogon tribe, dolphins and whales and mermaids, and again, in my own downloads, just as above, so below, coming from out of the mother's womb, that triple darkness of the mother's womb, or triple darkness of those waters, you know what I'm saying, in our mother womb, and our mama water break, and then we're born. And I felt like, again, even being a simulation, think about this earthly plane being like a simulated mother, in essence. So even though it's a simulation, it's like a mother energy, and if this plane of existence does give birth to things, it will come from out of the depths of the waters, and not fall out of the sky per se. And then this is another little vibe too. Matter of fact, the anime One Piece, where, after they finish selling the oceans, and the oceans represented by the subconscious, but they end up finding a sky city, like where they had to, uh, they found like a place where the water was like a geyser, and it shot them up into the sky or whatever, and they had to do some other stuff to go through the portal. But just this vibe of like, again, oxygen or the atmosphere here, like how like we walking around on this surface. Like picture if we're like at the bottom of an ocean ourselves, and then you got the actual ocean that has a bottom to it, and no telling how far this connection goes, as far as like, then you go into the ocean and there's an ocean under that, and then you go into that ocean, there's an ocean under that, or again like you go up into the sky, and you go past the what some may call a firmament, and then you're like at the surface of another ocean, just in a higher realm, let's just say, because again, I was like, the birds is like a fish in the ocean that could dwell up in the high areas close to the surface, and it's just like the aspect of Bikini Bottom. But then also the connection, like in New Orleans, it has a strong sea energy because New Orleans is under sea level. But it has a strong underworld energy. You think about Marie Laveau, and tapping in with the ancestors and stuff. Like Marie Laveau was in Time magazine. Her funeral was in Times magazine. A melanated woman in those times. There ain't too many being, especially somebody who practiced something that, a lot of the government and masses was scared of. Especially like, again, the colonizers who were enslaving melanated people, but still had respect for Marie Laveau on some type of level. But anyway, got a strong underworld vibe in New Orleans because it is closer to sea level, than most places. And then also being in Louisiana, or in New Orleans as well, but Louisiana as a whole. No wonder we eat a lot of crawfish and shrimp, are basically bottom feeders, because Earth's surface where we are is like the bottom of the ocean as well, So again, like the ground at our feet, what I'm saying, is like, it's like the bottom of this ocean in essence, But let's see. Yeah, man, I'm just saying, then you go into the ocean, and then there's another ocean under that. And they did have something about a scientist or something that went, like, as far as, it's like in one of those little submarine machines, but not no submarine, but a machine like that, and when he got close to the, what would start to be the bottom in essence, they had like seemed like he had reached another layer of water that was thicker than the ocean he was actually in, you know what I'm saying? So, it's that little connection too. But again, cockroaches highly melanated, connected to water. Also, they call water bugs, and they be in the trees. We talk about the tree of life and water, agua, and the mother, and Yemenya, Oya, Oshun, you know what I'm saying, and water. And also they could survive in the microwave, or they could survive, we think about certain beings, certain beings in this realm, for lack of a better word, what we call black people or melanated people, who survived a lot of shit in this realm, you know what I'm saying? Survive a lot of different little type of shit. So it's kind of like that same little correlation, and again, roaches been around for a long ass time too. So not only they been around, could survive all kind of shit, they highly melanated, and literally like, they black or brown in essence because of melanin, and they connected to water and the tree of life. Then they had this article, speaking on, again, I done said this before, but not in this manner, of like, so let me read some of this. In this article, she was like talking about her fear of roaches or whatever, and talking about like the Kalahari Bushman had a myth of a mantis creator god. You know what I'm saying? I thought about space ghosts and that whole connection with space ghosts. What his name was, Zorak or something like that. But let me see. So she's like, I realized that. Let me see. I gotta read this from here. I realized that I sought to be separate from life in one of its most ancient and primal forms, the cockroach. I had failed to see the microcosm before the macrocosm, and in denying the totality of the natural world, I denied my own totality. Hillman states that the animals out there are human organs. Our organs are interiorized animal species. Or you could say like our organs, or animals out there are human organs. Our organs are like internalized, if you don't say interiorized, animal species. And the play of me in you, again, like as above, so below, as within, so without, me in you and you in me, between the human and the natural, allows reflection and discovery of formerly unclaimed aspects of self, And again, like the unknown denied inhabitants of the psyche, We think about, because that's also like H.P. Lovecraft, and Cthulhu, and all these monsters are the great old ones. In essence, it's just the ancient aspect of ourself. And that's how, again, like I feel about with us just like killing roaches without like getting to know them. Because I was like, even with, like, because most roaches be in quote unquote filthy areas, but it's like, bro, they probably eating some shit or cleaning up some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why they in quote unquote dirty areas because they really cleaning the shit. In essence. But again, just came across that little vibe. I just want to share that with y'all, and just again how cockroaches. It's like when our first little our first little totem spirit animals, man. And been there to remind us of who we are, in the sense of like, the depths of the subconscious, the depths of that inner world or underworld, so to speak, And when we like scared of cockroaches, it's like being scared of ourselves. Like literally, like, you know what I'm saying? See, because I know, again, like I let them know, I'm like, bro, I don't mind. Like, I know we hold space together. Like, I know it's like trillions of y'all outside or in the walls of a house in some cases. I'm like, bro, let's just hold space and harmony. Like, for real. And I won't try to kill them, you know what I'm saying, on no type of level. Unless they really get in the way. And then I come across this. I do not own the copyrights to this video that I'm sharing. And as I share this too, again, I'm sharing this, just showing how it isn't no coincidences in the universe. Now, of course, this is
AKA the American cockroach. But this name is misleading. This guy's actually from Africa, not America.
And on a grand scale of things, it's not just about being from Africa. A lot of beings, our indigenous ancestors have been all over this plane of existence, not just Africa, But Africa definitely, carried them strong vibes.
It made its way to the U.S. by infesting boats in the 16th century. And it's been spreading to almost every corner in the world ever since. Turns out it's one of the largest species of cockroach around. But that's not the only big thing about it. New research has revealed that it has a massive genome, one of the largest of any studied insect. And many of these genes are exactly what make this roach a master survivor. Let's start with the genes associated with something called chemoreception. That's how roaches smell and taste their environment. Turns out they're actually way better at sniffing out and eating food than most other insects. The American roach has 154 olfactory receptors for smell and 544 gustatory receptors for taste. More than any other insect on the planet. As a result, these cockroaches are not picky eaters. Sure, they like cheese, meat, and sugar like the rest of us, but they'll also go for things like cardboard, book bindings, human toenails, rotting meat, blood, excrement, and even Each other. That's right. These roaches have been known to eat other dead or crippled cockroaches, all in the name of survival. It sounds gross, but this diverse diet makes it easy to find a meal just about anywhere, even if it's poisonous to most animals. This roach has a bunch of genes called cytochrome P450s, which help it withstand poisonous chemicals like peppermint. These genes code for detoxification enzymes, which keep the insects safe. On top of that, this roach has a super strong immune system that seeks out and kills harmful microbes and fungi, making the most unsanitary environment look like a 5-star hotel to the American cockroach. Not gross enough yet? Well, consider this. Cockroaches can live nearly a week without their heads. Yeah, that's not a myth. They don't have a highly pressurized network.
Think about Piccolo and I talk about the autobiography of a yogi recently and how they had a yogi who had his arm chopped off and he was able to regenerate it. But, you know, again, there are capabilities of the bodysuit that if we were taught that we had these capabilities from youth, you know, things may be, you know, different.
Of blood vessels like humans, so they don't bleed out. Instead, their necks actually seal off the opening. They can't regenerate a whole head, but roaches do have an impressive set of regenerative superpowers. For up to the first 2 years of its life, the American roach goes through a series of regenerative molts as it matures into an adult. During a single molt stage, it can replace lost limbs. And over a series of molts, it can regrow antennae and even its eyes. Roaches may be hard to kill, but there's an easy way to keep them clear of your kitchen. Cleanliness. A roach won't just survive in unsanitary conditions, it actually enjoys it. Its heightened senses mean it actually relishes rotting food. So, store food in airtight containers, cover trash bins, and keep your basement dry. It might also be smart to plug holes in your walls, unused electrical outlets, and especially drains, since, get this, roaches can use your plumbing to climb up from sewers into your bathroom sink. It might not eliminate the risk entirely, but it can't hurt, and it will certainly make you feel better. However, we can't promise it will keep them out of your nightmares.
Again, just sharing right quick, of course, you know, having to do more research. At the same time, I understand when I'm wearing Moldavite. Look. Oh, this is a coincidence that I just came across this and had these downloads right after 2 cockroaches was in the crib. But definitely, again, because it's a balance. Like for me, I know that clear cognizance exists where I could get, you know, downloads about stuff without no book evidence of it. I always just think of the example of how I always knew AIDS and cancer was fake, or I knew it was healable before, like as a little kid. Like as a child, I always felt like that. Like, and I say a child, but like as I was, let's say about, you know, 6th grade to junior high, you know, it's like, bro, I just like knew. And so one could say, oh, but you ain't got no evidence of that. They could, you know, somebody could have told me that. Then here it is, years later, you know, you got Dr. Sebi, and then the knowledge of the placebo effect, and the knowledge of pranayama breathing, and meditation, and eating healthy, and how it heals the body. Or again, or how the mind, law of attraction, how the mind heals the body. So, you know, one could have said, you know, and that's where I get the balance. Like, of course, if I'm going to try to teach it to somebody in that sense, you know, it's best to have, you know, the references and stuff like that. And hence why whenever I do share things without no type of book references and stuff, I'll be like, you know, take what resonates, leave what don't. You know what I'm saying? But just wanted to share that with y'all, man. Now it's a vibrate. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past right now and again. You know, show love to you, to the representation of your primordial subconscious essence in the form of a bug, you know. Peace.